All right, good evening, everybody. Uh, Today is the 27th of November 2024. We will be looking into a couple of things today: Bitcoin, gold, the Russell, the Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and the ES. These are the things that we will be looking for today. Just a quick reminder that tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so we do not have, you know, uh, much trading tomorrow. However, we will still continue to do our analysis. Now, over for today, as you can see, Bitcoin had a huge rally today. That was huge. I missed out on the entire move, but it was a huge day for Bitcoin today. Price moved from let's break it down. Let's go into the 15-minute. Price moved from 91,000 to 97,000 in one day. Remember how gold declined the other day? The same thing. This thing just shoots up in one fine day. That's a fine print. That's a fine print of 98,475, right? Now, I just want to break down the trade to see if there were any opportunities that I personally, as a trader, could have caught. When I look into it, the one place that I like is this white line right here, which is 93, uh, 94 to 35, right? Now, 94 through 35 is basically this one right here, right? Like we come, we fail, we come again, we fail, we break above, fail, then break above and hold, right? So if anything, let's say we were above this line that was today, 4 hour that we have right here is somewhere around yesterday, right? And then this 4 hour would be from today, from the morning. So, but I saw that there was a clean retest of it. Look at this at 7:30 in the morning. When you realize that okay, this is what's happening here, you see this retest. This was a perfect place to go long. This was a perfect place for me to go long. I would have had 93s. You wouldn't have the entire move given, right? Like for sure, you wouldn't have the entire move, but at least half of it was something that I could have taken. I was more focused on what gold was doing today because it was still on the radar. We didn't do much per se. As you can see, yesterday we had the short. This was a good short. Coming into the day, I think it was in the morning. I wanted to have a trade in and around this area right here. This was a beautiful place to go long. Could have had from 26,666 to 26,78. It's a decent move. Coming into the morning, 8 o'clock, 8:45, we broke above and we held, right? We held this particular area here. But as soon as the 15-minute closed, the next 15-minute closed below, we hovered for like below it for some time. We again pushed back up, but instantly came back down, right? Now, having a look into the price action of this, I personally find this very choppy, right? I think this is a very, very choppy kind of situation. This was just trapping whoever was trying to go long. Let's say let's say you went long based off of these breakouts, you got stopped out regardless, right? There's no continuation from that move. Let's say you went long above this, again you're out. You went long above this, again you're out, and then price just declines. And then we go back into the bearish structure, which is in here. Now, I would like to see what happens, because now the reason why I'm saying this is because the dollar index, which is the indicator, right, to say how healthy or how weak the dollar is actually, it broke its lows today. Look at where we're sitting right now, right? You have the dollar coming back into, levels that we saw in July, in June, right? This move that you saw here was during election week, and now we're back into the structure. That being said, if there is a decline in the dollar, we would supposedly see a rise in gold. But that's not the case, right? The dollar declined. Um, and we still don't see any significant volume. We don't see anything happening on gold. So, what are the big sharks trying to do, right? What are the big sharks trying to play here? I do not know. Does anybody know? Nobody knows. So, all we can do is consider areas to trade and realize that all we can do is just consider areas that we can trade. We just look at what the market is showing us, and then based off of that, we place our trade. So if we go into the daily, what do we have here? We have a bunch of lines. First of all, I'm going to be deleting all of these lines. Okay, let's play with clean charts here, people. So we realize that price is sitting at the middle of nowhere. If you go into the weekly candle as well, you realize that we were sitting here at the start of the week, and now we're down here, right? And on the previous week, it shows us that there was some bullish, right? There was some bullish signs. We had a very strong close, no tails. People just bought it up the entire week, right? And now this past week, these past couple of days, we saw a huge drop, and now price is just sitting right in between. Now, where would I like to see price go before I could go for the longs? Now, from my experience and from what I know is this low that we had here was defended, right? Like we had buyers stepped up right or in and around here and pushed the market higher. Now, when was that push is one of the questions. Um, that let me just draw something really quick here so that I can also be aware. This low that we have here is okay. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it the low of the alert, right? That I had, which is here. So it was this. This was on Tuesday. The market tried to push down. Buyers came, stepped in, pushed it back up, and we're now currently, again in the same area where I would be comfortable as long as we overpower the previous day's close, which is 2664.8. So I'm going to be having my line. I think that's a fair enough place for me to consider getting into one of the trades that I take, which is the close, right? So that's 2664 2664.8. So let's place it there, which is 26.8. Okay, perfect. Now I would like to know what price. This is just it's not the fanciest of trades. We're below the close, but given given the scenario that the dollar declined so much, and given the scenario that gold just sold off, right? Like we hit the liquidity up here and just came down, and we're sitting in a very very keen area. So I would like to see what happens once price reaches here. Uh, I am aware that the dollar index has broken a key low, right? And this happened. So that's the thing, right? Like the markets are closed as of now. So this was on Wednesday, the 27th. And we have, what's this? Thanksgiving. So we had industrial news. Again, we'll get to that in a bit because the industrial news had something very, very interesting that played on in the Dow, the US 30. Um, I'm not sure if that's no, I don't think that's the reason why Bitcoin flew, but we'll get to that in a second, right? So for gold, like I said, one area is that the second area would be up here, which would be the high of this day. I would like to see what we do once we approach this here, because there's only very few places where you can have clean trades, right? Anything Above or below that is just, as long if you're between all of this and you're trying to place a trade, I do not see the value in that transaction, right? It's it always go to how valuable is the transaction, how good is the move, what would be the risk to reward of the move. All of that decides if or whether or not the trade is going to be profitable or not. Um, Coming back to the dollar index, as you can see, we are sitting in the middle of nowhere. We broke the previous area. We still have 2 days for this candle to close, which is the weekly candle. We'll look at that. That looks, you can say that we have a couple of days. We have like what? Today is 27th. We have how many more trading days? A lot of people are not even going to be trading after today because it's Thanksgiving. Today was the only day when there was be decent volume, and then tomorrow is Thanksgiving. People are going to be, it's basically they're off tomorrow, and then it's a Friday, which is the 29th. So again, that's another day when none of this makes any sense, right? Because if the day is done here, what makes you think that people are going to be trading in the US on the 29th, which is the most biggest market? So you would have decent trading coming in back in December. So, even if you don't trade the coming days, you'll be perfectly fine. That being said, I feel like that's one of the reasons why we have no idea what's going to happen. Um, I would like to see where the dollar index moves after this, and that is if we have trading uh, in the Asian session, right? Something that I wanted to point out was what the Dow did today. As you can see, we broke the high over here. That looks so clean on the 15-minute. Uh, this was the break. Price sort of held as soon as we broke down. This was a good area to go short, risking off of the highs, right? I know a lot of people in the trading space tried to catch this. There was a lot of mixed commotion when it came to this particular setup here because some of them were trying to go long, some of them were trying to fade the move. But whoever I know a trader who is very very he's very significant on the internet. He's very relevant. Relevant is the word that I was looking for, not significant. He's also significant, but he's very relevant to the trading space. What he did was quite interesting. He had the long. No, he had the short. No, he first had the long, and he missed out. The price went back up. He got the long, missed out, and I think on the third time when he tried was when he went short, and I think he caught this move. But it's quite interesting to see these live sessions that a lot of traders have. You get to understand the emotions that they have while they're trading, right? Like I'm recording this after I finish my trading because this is the part or this is the time when I do my analysis. However, like I cannot be live trading due to certain conditions, right? But I can trade in the after hours. I can trade in the Asian. There's a lot of times when I've been placing trades while I've been recording. So it's something that is quite interesting to see a trader's mind while they're in the trade and how they execute, where they place their stops, do they move their stops. That's all quite interesting to watch. I'm not going to be calling out names, but yeah, that's a trader that I truly truly respected. Now, can see spot on. We come here, uh, we wick and then we take off. Now, was there a way we could have had this short? Probably not, right? Like think of it. This is where I was interested in going long. We wick and then we're back up here. There was nothing for you to go short because you had buying all the way through here. So the only place that you could have gotten long was exactly where I had this particular line, right? Now, That being said, where do you think we can go long again? If you ask, I would say the break of this high right here, or or if at all we decide to come back, or even better, if you have the capacity to just risk off of this low, right? 20. So let's see. If we go, if let's say I'm just going to buy one contract, right? I have my stops at 2748. So that's 2748. That's $177. What's the upside to this? So let's say you decide, okay, you know what, I'm deciding to take this trade. My upside would be till here before we see selling coming in, right? So that's 2965. So 2965, that's like 100, like you wouldn't even want to take this risk. So what you would do is, I would be okay if I can bring my buy somewhere here, right? So at least I can say that it's justifiable, right? Like you throw in $50 to make this one, that's fine. So there you go. You just throw in your limit order and just see what the market does. So you might get triggered, might not get triggered, but you know, uh, that's just the way it is, and that's just where you have your risk, right? So that's on the MNQs. Let's see in the MES if we have any setups that look good or not. Same thing happened. We didn't take liquidity today. We took liquidity yesterday. If we go back and see if there is anything worthwhile, you realize that we're still in the middle, right? It was much more clear for the MNQs, but not clear for this. Now, on Bitcoin, which is something that's very, very trendy, again, we missed the entire trade. So as at this point, the only thing that I see for Bitcoin is if we approach this level right here. That's the only place that I see Bitcoin tradable at for me personally. I don't know other traders. They might have other ideas, but for me personally, that's the only place that I have. We marked alerts here, so that's all good. We marked alerts here, that's all good. Dollar index, we have no idea. Something that caught my eye today morning was the British pound. It had a clean move. Let's see. So breakout right here, right? Look at that. It was such a clean breakout. Now, I would like to see what happens when we get here. So I'm going to just throw in an alert over there. We're going to go and see what happens, what we have for the Canadian dollar. This is also something that we can trade. It's just hitting. The Canadian dollar is at a really, really bad place. It's because Trump has imposed a bunch of tariffs, right? This was something that was sitting with the dollar uh, in what, September 2000. This is way back in the day, 2011, and then ever since, we've just been consolidating down here. So unless there is something substantial, I do not see any trade on the Canadian dollar. I mean, besides, why would you even want to trade it? Shit. Um, Euro, Euro FX. Let's have a look here. This thing dipped the entire way, right? And then now we're just sitting here. So quite interesting to watch this. Gives me some ideas, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, the Japanese yen has something significant going on right now, right? What's this high here? The high here is 0.0066440. I think if this is correct, 6644. Hopefully this is it. Okay. Let's see what we did. So we came, we broke and held, and then now we're just dying. Look at that. This is the entire day, right? The entire day this thing trended up to the upside? Where do you think we could see some buying coming in? Um, I'd be quite interested to see if the yen reaches 75s, right? And this is 600 66030. Okay, I traded this quite some time back, so it was okay. That right there seems to be an interesting point or place for the Japanese yen to find some sort of support, right? So it looks decent. Looks decent here. Probably the liquidity grab of this or this, and then hopefully we see the move trending back up. We're gonna look at the New Zealand dollar. Boy, I'm flying through these stocks today. Eh? There's nothing there, nothing that I like personally. Swiss franc, again, same story, same story, same story. You can trade a lot of things on Top Step. By the way, you have Lean Hog, you have some sort of USLD Harbor futures. You have live cattle. Why would you even trade cattle? I mean, like, fair enough, you can trade anything that moves, but cattle, come on. I mean, but it's. I know a lot of traders who do that. I know a lot of cattle traders who trade them not particularly on the stock market, but on in actual reality. It's uh, it's quite the interesting trade, cattle markets. Anyways, that being said, uh, the micro, so the AUD, which is Australian dollar, right? Again, there's nothing much here. Just set some alerts and let it be. So on gold, um, I would like to see gold, pick up some buys and start heading back up because like why not? Like what's the hold up on gold? What's the slow for this 4 hour? I want to have something marked over there. So it's 2658.8. So 2658.8. That's going to be quite interesting. So 2658.8 is the low of that. We are at 2660.4. So we're right there, right? Like we're right in the middle of this channel here. Uh, and so here's how I see it. We come all the way down. We try this. We fail. We fail. We fail. We go all the way down. We continue trying. We break above. We fail. We hover, hover, hover. We break above. Continue. We're above this channel. Now we're back into this particular channel right here. Would be quite interesting to see how the volume, you know, uh, shows up on this side of the trade. But apart from that, I do not have much on this Thanksgiving Eve. I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. Slaughter those turkeys and have a fantastic time if you celebrate the same. Uh, Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the other side.